All right, go to my computer. Hello, everybody. It's Monday. Thank you for joining. You know what? It's been a difficult weekend regarding Israel. I want to hear from Eran, but I want to read Psalm 67. This is such a great psalm and so particularly applies to Israel. God, be merciful to us and bless us and cause his face to shine upon us, that your way may be known on the earth, your salvation among all nations. Let the peoples praise you, O God. Let all the peoples praise you. Oh, let the nations be glad and sing for joy, for you shall judge the people righteously and govern the nations on the earth. Let the peoples praise you, O God. Let all the peoples praise you. Then the earth shall yield her increase. God, our own God, shall bless us. God shall bless us, and all the ends of the earth shall fear him. Lord, even as you bless Israel, the nations of the earth will fear you. And that's what we're crying out for today and every day. Eran, it was I'm sure you would concur, love to hear your thoughts. Such a difficult weekend with the loss of 11 soldiers. It was like, oh, and I'm looking at the ages, 21, 20, and 19, and sounded to me like that anti-tank rocket that was shot at the one tank in Gaza caused a chain reaction of other explosives in that tank. But tell us about that. Tell us about what's going on with the government. I'm trying to understand the war cabinet being disbanded now because of Benny Gantz stepping down. So love to hear your interpretation. And I'm really curious, Eran, your sons, do they know some of these people who have died? I'm sure they do, right? Like, just over to you, my friend. Thanks so much for joining.
So, hi Patricia, how are you? And how
Good.
are you all? It's great to see you. Yeah, for me, it's really important. Yes, we are in a difficult season, and this season started in the 7th of October, and now we are 255 days after that. We are counting the days, we are counting the hostages, we are counting the dead that we have. Yesterday, the number, we have 12 funerals yesterday. In Shabbat, it was 8, another 3, and another 1 that was died because he was injured before. So yesterday we buried 12 of our children in Israel, which is really extreme, terrible. The political situation is really complicated and not easy. Lack of leadership, we can say that people are not understand where we are going. The Hezbollah continue to from the next that after that. Yesterday we had started the pilot that we are doing with the Ministry of Defense of widows and orphans. And yesterday we have a group of orphans in the National Leadership Center. Before the 7th of October, it was 300 children in between the age of until up to 18 that was members of this organization, and now we have 500. Think about it, there's 200 new orphans for this grief family. And the situation is really hard in Israel. It's something that we don't see the end of that. We don't understand what is happening. The government is in a way stable, but it's not stable. Fighting against, not against, but there is law that wants to give the ultra-Orthodox the opportunity not to go to the army or continue the law. In other hand, there is a new law that the our children's, my Itamar son, he's going to be 4 months longer in the IDF than he was expected to be. They are going to take the service 4 months longer, and the reserve are going to be longer. And it's really a bad situation. We're back in a way to the 6th of October that the society is not united, and it's something that it's really break my heart and break a lot of people's heart, and everything is infected by that. I was reading in Shabbat, in the portion of Shabbat. I will share that with you if it's okay. How we say, do it. Wait a minute. This in Shabbat, the portion of Shabbat is one of the popular verses. I hope that you see that from Numbers, the blessing that God give to Moses, that he will give to Aaron, and this is a famous one. And I was reading that in Shabbat, and I have tears in my eyes. The Lord, and God, and the Lord spoke into Moses, saying, "Speak to Aaron's and into his sons, saying, unwise you all bless the children of Israel, and you will saying to them, the Lord will bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you, and the Lord lift you and correspond upon you and give you peace." And I was reading that, and I was thinking about what is the right way to read that, and what is the what is the message of the Lord here to the children of Israel. It's something that we are saying that every Shabbat to our children. When my children are, before we are doing the ceremony of Shabbat, I bless both of them, or about that. And when I was thinking about that, when both of them was at home, I was thinking that this is a personal prayer. It's a personal prayer because the Lord bless you and keep you, and He is going to bring mercy on you. And I think that if you understand that the Lord bless you particularly, personal level, and the Lord is bringing you to grow, and He have mercy upon you, and He's going to lift up you. Just when you understand that the Lord is doing that for you, it's going to be a peace inside you. And I was thinking about that just if we, all of us, have understanding that the Lord is blessing us, and we are going to accept Him as in His Father and blessing for us as a nation, as a nations, as people, we can bring peace. And this is what is my thinking. And yesterday we have, as I told you, the National Leadership Center, a day that it was orphans of the IDF, and it was day of tears and happiness. We have one of the childs there in the age of 13, lost her father 3 months ago, and there is 6 children in the house, and this child becoming the new mother of the family. The mother is grieving, taking care of everybody, and you see how she is sharing her heart with the words of a woman in the age of 40. She protect her brother, and I was thinking about her, that she is understand that her father was died, and she accept that with peace, and she understand that she needs to take care of the family, and this 13 years old taking the burden of the family on her shoulder. It's something that happened just in Israel. And I saw my trainers that see these children, that they didn't know them, and how they love them, and how they hug them, and how they accept them. And even Yair, the mayor, came to see them and to see the activity, and he acted to them like a father. And I think that in the National Leadership Center, but this is something that my advice or my wish or my ask from you all, let's understand and let's have peace inside ourselves. And I think that when we are going to have peace inside ourselves, all of us are going to work very hard for peace. Soul and peace for the children of Israel. And when I saw the trainers that's walking the students, it was 100 degrees yesterday. It was terribly hot. We cannot, but you see the love of the people. And I saw my trainers, and some of them are volunteers in the age of 18. They act with peace and love and joy to the children. And I think the first step of healing has to be like that. So the prayer that we are very well known is something that I think, and I'm going to take it to myself because I can lead in peace my people, my staff, and to to love them every day, to hug them and to encourage them. Think about it, Patricia. Yesterday we have a group of orphans. In Thursday we have 40 widows and orphans in the NLC. Think about it, a young man in the age of 25, 20 that needed my trainers, that needed to support them and love them and hug them. They are finishing the day exhausting. And I was saying to them, listen, I love you all. I really appreciate you. And I do it with peace because I know that God put his hand on the National Leadership Center. And with that, we can go further. So this is something that I encourage you all to do, and to not just to read that. There is a couple of ways to behave or to do the Bible. You need to pray, and you need to understand why you are praying. In the last stage is to act like that, is to do the action of leadership, and to do the action of God and peace. And this is connected to each other, but we need, in this horrible time, in this darkness, in this time that the fog is so strong that we don't see the future, we need to accept God with peace and love and understanding. And it's really hard when we have 120 people that are still in Gaza, and we don't see the end of that. The enemy is attacking us, and the enemy is not stupid people that living in caves. They are very smart, they are very sophisticated, and most of them are vicious. And the time is clocking for these people, and it's terrible. And we are humanitarian. The hours that we open now the time, and there is a ceasefire, if you call that ceasefire or not, but there is a lot of hours in the day and a lot of roads on the day that the IDF is stopped to fight and give them the ability to eat and to get things like that. In the Galilee, it's terrible. There is people that evacuate from the children. We see them, and these people 8 months not at home. And their desire, yesterday it was in the TV, a guy in the age of 94, and he said that he's praying to God every day that he will be buried in the kibbutz that he was built. And this is his wish. People wants to come back to their houses. People wants to build the structure. Yesterday it was one of the hard things that I saw. There is a woman that lost her child in the war in Gaza, in the IDF, and she's living in a kibbutz near to the border, and she's sitting there every day, and she said, I'm not moving from here, because if something will happen to the grave of my child, I will kill myself, if it's going to be a fire or something there. And she's sitting there day and night, protecting the grave. And this is the reality that we are living. And this is something that it's really, really hard. And this is something that we are struggle with, and the people are lost their faith. And this is what I'm trying to communicate and speak in the National Leadership Center. To host 40 widows and orphans, it's something that it's really hard. This is people that lost their dear ones, and now they have to struggle with the trauma. They have to, with the tears and the sorrow, they have to operate like an action operators to take care of the family, and they have to take care of these teenagers that are teenagers, without losing their father. They are in a terrible situation, and they're coming to the National Leadership Center, and we are praying, and we are wishing for them a better life, and we give them a window of a day that it's taking out. And I have a testimony of one of the women that called and give me a text and said, thank you very much. Because of you, this is the first time from my husband died 3 months ago, I have time with my child. And she said with tears in her eyes, this is the first time that I hug her. And this is the first time that she came home and said to her brothers and sisters, it was a great day with mommy. It was a fun day with mommy. And for her, and all of us, or most of us are parents here, to get a hug or a word from our children, it's a word. And this is what we are giving them. And this is what we are working. yes, it's hard. Yes, it's terrible times. Yes, we are struggling with politics. Yes, we are doing that. Yes, we are short in trainers, every day, all of us. My ops manager is serving with water. I'm back to be a trainer, by the way. This is my joy. I will happy to continue to be a trainer. And Yaniv and Shlomo, all this stuff are, because we are feeling that in this point in history, we are here, we are understand how much is put on stake and how much is on our shoulders, and reserve are risking their life in the front, and we have to be in reserve for the citizens, for them people, and to the children's, and today my wish to you, from you all, is to pray for the children of Israel, to pray for the children that lost their dear ones, the children's that just wants to be children's, and not to be a new parent in the age of 13, and not to help their father. They just want to play and to do have fun. And we bought them ice cream yesterday, and it was like and all of us, what is an ice cream? But when the ice cream is coming with hug, and when the ice cream is coming with love, and when the ice cream is coming with the truth of ask you, how are you? How you are feeling? And just you to know, I'm a stranger in your life, but if you need something, I'm here for you. For them, it's give hope. And we saw them growing. And yes, we saw the heart of stone. The children came in the morning with the faces, with the phones and everything, and they are angry. And they are angry by a good reason, by the way. To lose your father or your mother, this is the worst thing that, a child that buries his parents, this is the worst thing that can happen. But yesterday and Thursday, we saw that, and I'm focusing on bringing these smiles and bringing this breath of faith to the people. They need it so much. They are desperate to do it. I saw that just numbers is not really important, but we met 7,000 people in Ariel and outside Ariel through the war, and bring them the word of hope and the smile and the caring. And this is what we are doing. And this is something that, we are coming exhausting for a day like that, but we are waking up every day and waiting for the next. Today we have a boarding evacuate children without parents a function in their life. They have parents, but they're not functioning as parents. So these children's really in a bad situation. They came and they say to one of them, say, thank you, God. I learned to manage my fear and anger today. And this is children in the age of 14. It's not like philosophic faculty in the university. These children that life bring them to a places of dark. And this is what we are doing. And this is something that we are going to continue. And I think with all the sadness around that, this is going to be the next years for us to start to help to heal, to help to bring the hope, because people are so desperate for a good word, for something that seems like a leadership, something that care, because if you are not evaluate your life is not worth to live. And we ask them to evaluate and speak about purpose in life, small questions, but really changing lives of people, parents. One of the mothers, this is the last story, one of the mothers say to me, Eran, I lost hope. I'm giving up on my child. He is so hard. And in the end of the day, we do them the trust walk, which they are walking, and the parents say to them, you hear my voice, I will be here forever, and you can ask me whenever you want. And they walk in an hour in the wood, and in the end, we put them sitting next to each other, and they're looking in the eyes for 40 minutes. And you see as parents and teens that it's hard for them to look in the eyes. And when they finish that, it was tears and hugs, and the mother was alive again, and the child was alive again, because we see that the children's back to the fathers. And the prophet was written long time ago, but now it's alive, and now we are doing that, and we have the honor to do it with all the challenges and with all the things that happen. And yes, it's hard, and yes, all of us is in a trauma. Yes, for your question, Jonathan, my son, no, 10 of his best friend was killed.
Wow.
in the day of Memorial Day, he go out of Israel, fly away because he didn't know to choose what ceremony to go. Think about it, a 24-year child that his troubles is what ceremony to go. Terrible, not. It's crazy, right?
Mm.
But this is my, and 24 years old is a man, but he's a child. He's a child, and young people don't need to have this choose. They have to choose life, and I hope my child is going to choose life also, and always also the children that are coming, and we pray for them, we love them, we hug them, and we give them hope. And this is my privilege. It's something that we are doing with grace and joy and love. And I think this is the key. When you're coming to your mission with love, you are going to win in any battle. When you're coming with grace, you are not enemy can stand in front of you, not evil can stand. And yes, it's hard to be grateful and everything is very challenging. But sometimes, yes, you need to pretend that you are strong and have grace, and then the enemy will go away. So I think it was a little bit longer today, but thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you all.
Well, it was so good, and there's so much to hear, to speak about. Eran, you're bringing up something that about this whole hope. That's the thing about bringing hope through the National Leadership Center. By the way, there's a link there in the chat about the National Leadership Center. I think that's a massive thing. I happened to listen to the stories of two hostages that were released. One of them, Mia Shem, she's the younger 21-year-old, I think, and then the other one, I forget her name, but the mom with a 6-year-old that she was also in captivity. And both of them, it was interesting because they both very much emphasized the need for them to be encouraged that they could get out, that there was going to be a day when they were going to be released. So even Mia said she was alone for most of the time. And at one point she was with 6 other hostages. And then the interviewer said, "Oh, that must have been so nice for you to be with other hostages." And she said, well, in one sense it was to speak Hebrew, but she said in another sense, so many of them were saying things like, we're going to die. This is it. We're going to die. And then she said, but I was trying all the time to keep myself encouraged. Anyways, long story short, she was the only one of that group of 6 or 7 that when the 50th day or 49th day came, that she was released. And she kept saying, I'm so sorry, because she felt so apologetic to them that she was leaving. Anyways, I guess what I'm trying to say is what you're saying, which is there is such a necessity to hang on to hope. I'm sure you would concur with that. And for those two that I listened to their details, the mom with the 6-year-old said the same thing. She said, I was constantly trying to encourage myself, encourage my daughter. We're going to get out of here. We're going to get out of here. What thoughts on that? Just the importance of our psyche or the mind staying positive around.
So, one of the things that I can tell you for sure, Patricia, that none of us can understand what is to be in capture. As I told yesterday to the children's, when they start sharing about their parents and about the struggles, I cannot understand what's happened to these children. And but I can tell you that they are looking for hope, and they are looking for family, and they are one of the strength of us, or for me, I will speak in a personal way, that when I'm sitting with you all or being with you all here, I'm feeling the community. I'm feeling the hope that, and I see the trainers, and I see, one of the things that I was blessed, maybe it's a virtual, and maybe just in my mind, and maybe it's not realistic, but I think the power of community and the power of that bring you hope is something that it's really strong. And yesterday I saw that these children are looking for community. They are looking for relations, and from this very low, when these people are very low, when you speak with them about resources in life, and when you are speaking with them about about community and about things that they are looking for. They are looking for relations. And when you are looking for relations, our goal is to offer them a couple of options.
Mm,
And from there, we are praying that they are going to choose in the right way.
yeah.
So, it's about strength. And by the way, again, Patricia, I said that last time, but we see how heroic was the women in this war. We
Yeah.
see that in the IDF. We see that in the people, in the citizen stuff. We see that in the mothers that are protecting the family. We see the hostages. We see the hostages woman. Noah, the last one, that they make her a slave.
Yes. Right.
Again, we don't know what is to be a slave, but
Right.
to be a slave, it's something. And she was strong, and she was creating for herself a reality of hope, something to hold on, and to bring. She built associations in her mind about the hope.
Mhm.
Slave, slave.
Yeah.
And this is something that we can see that women, by the way, again, leading the strength of the world, and women was in this war something that I cannot express. We are very, the Israeli society is very honored men, generals, things like that. But I think the paradigm is changing in this war, and we see women are becoming warriors, and we see women in funerals, how they are standing like lions, really, and protecting their
Wow.
children and their family and this nation. And this is something that is changing in Israel. And yes, people looking for hope, although there is a very dark and fog situation around what is going to be in Israel. We can speak in next Monday and the war will start in the north. It's something that is very fragile. We don't understand. And we see how people are continue to hunt us. There is a weapon thing that happened in France, and the Jewish people, Israelis, are not allowed to show them weapon. But more terrible than that, the court said that Jewish people cannot enter to that. We are back to the 40s in Germany. This is what is start happening under the law, under things. The anti-Semitism
Yeah.
is there. Is there. It's not something. It's not a science fiction. It's
Yeah.
there, and it's not nice, and it's not. The feeling is not good. So I think, Patricia, that one of the important messages that all of us needs to go is this is the time to stand with Israel.
Yeah.
And this is the time to pray for Israel.
Yeah.
And this is the time to give your heart, mind, and soul to the Jewish people. And I can tell you that, things that in the past was saying about Christians and the relations, people are not longer exist. People